All right, so here's the first sheet that I got installed. It's looking pretty nice as is. And then with that laser, if you notice that it is on the paper itself, that is gonna be our matching point. As again, the instructions say it is a 2-inch overlap. And so we measured out 2 inches, set our laser line, got our second sheet booked, and I am going to show you how the pattern matches up. Bam! We got our sheet booked up, ready to go. Let it sit for a couple of minutes. Now what you want to do, if you're matching up a pattern, you're going to hold that right hand up and find a point of contact where the pattern actually matches itself. So this one is going to be just about there, which I think we may have overestimated the laser just a bit. So again, if you don't think you're set, you can go ahead and place the right side down and kind of just take a peek where you're at here. And so what I'm doing here is comic booking. So if you can see this little point, I'm not sure if you can really see it that well, this point needs to overlap on the same exact image itself. So again, take that right side, lift up, and the glue helps it slide pretty nicely. Just go ahead and shift it on over. Place that side again, just temporarily come down. And you can see this big lip here needs to shift that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and see where I'm lined up here. So there's that there. So I think, again, like I said, we pushed the laser a little bit too far. So let me get this set and I'll give you guys a closer look. It'd be nice to get this bottom set. Straight as possible. So at this point I'm kind of ignoring the laser because I'm sure you can tell that it is not against the sheet. So I'm just double checking that image, making sure it's good. So let me grab you guys. So here is this. Here's a few points. There's a few points of connection where you want to really focus on. So like I said, comic book, flip it. You can see this little dark spot is pretty much on point there. And then I think this spot is there too. So it's a little deeper. But again, if you comic book it, flip the page back and forth, you'll see that it is nice and set and matching. So again, you can reset the laser line, make sure you're going straight. So I'm gonna make that slight adjustment right there. And so now you can see with that laser line, I went a little bit too far left up top there. So I gotta push it back, which is creating this little hump there. So I'm gonna stretch that right side out, lift it up, and it should just go right into place here. Let me set this angle back up. Right there. Get back up here. Take my right hand, peel that side while I kind of have my left hand placed so it doesn't completely drop. And again, the glue helps it slide right into place. As you see there. And then again, don't completely smooth it out because you may need to do a couple more readjustments. As I see, I'm a little off the laser there. Okay. So with the bottom half matched and comic booked, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same up here. So as you can see, this is another point of interest here that I'm trying to match. And if you, again, comic book flip it, it's right on there. And then you go further up and in front of the laser. So you can see they're kind of fading off. But again, there's other points that you can use to show that you're right on. Which that looks absolutely perfect. And so that there creates the full image. And so I'm gonna finish this up, let you guys kind of just spectate. That's a good angle there. It's always nice to have a brush. Kind of gives you that wide span. Always smooth out in smaller portions so you don't miss any bubbles. And then kind of just repeat. Go in the other direction. And then it's going to want to crease this edge against the ceiling line, or in this case, the panel. And if you're wondering why I have the ceiling exposed, I noticed that previous jobs, the glue tends to stain these ceiling tiles, so I just get them out the way. Create that nice crease, and that's where you're going to trim off the excess. Always clip your blade, have a fresh, sharp tip, and cut in a nice straight line. This is a wider sheet, so I'm going to have to stop there. Not recommended. Find your point again, put the blade on, and put your straight edge. Get a nice smooth cut, and this will fall right off. And so at this point, you can turn off the laser, kind of step back, and see your pattern design here. As you can see, again, certain points match up beautifully, going up and continuing up the pattern. So there's that, and then after you're done with the top, go ahead and go back and smooth out the lower half. Then start either left to right or right to left in a nice, I guess, give it about a foot of smoothing space, so again you don't miss any air bubble, and continue alternating sides. And then usually, again, with murals, you send your dimensions in, ceiling to floor, wall to wall, and they will automatically give you that extra amount of paper to kind of have slight adjustments if you need to. If you could see here, they gave it quite a bit because this part is still booked. So if I unbook that, we're gonna have like a foot of paper coming down this way. So to avoid getting glue on there, kind of just hold up the end of the paper that's booked and just smooth it down hold it like this so it doesn't touch the floor. And again, from left to right, or right to left, and just smooth down until you're about a couple inches below that trim line. Now you can either make adjustments before you're actually pasting it, but sometimes you may cut a little too short. So I don't like to make that pre-cut. So I get where I'm at here and then cut nice solid 2 to 3 inches. It's a little hard here. And that way you're not getting it all over the floor, which they gave it quite a bit of overlap. And then if you put a little bit more overlap on the top, it can start sagging down, especially how heavier this paper is. So, finish this up, press nice into this cove base. Which cutting cove base can be pretty tricky. It is rubber, it will redirect your blade. So you really want to emphasize on creating this crease above the cove base. So there's that. So I don't know if you can really tell, but it's creased enough that I can see where I need to cut. Again, fresh blade, clip it off. So with cove base, I almost have my knuckles touching, making contact with the wall, as I want to cut down towards the cove base and not at the wall, because that would potentially ruin the nice smooth cut at the bottom and expose the wall. So let's see. And again, always make sure that blade is pointed down. Take your time on these cuts. Keep a nice, smooth pressure. Try not to lift the blade. And there's that. So now that the top and bottom are trimmed up, what's next is to do a double cut, which is required with most commercial papers, not even murals. Anything that's usually, I would say, make a safe bet about 50 inches or wider. You've got to assume that there's going to be an overlap, and you have to double cut in between the two seams that you overlapped. So with this paper, you really can't tell where the edge of the other paper is. So it goes just about that. Again, 2 inches. So you're just going to cut with a nice ruler, cut it straight down the middle there, release the two seams, smooth it back closed, and it'll create that image without a heavy seam showing, which I will do that and show you guys. There's my ruler. Turn this way again. So again, with this type of pattern, you're really not going to want to cut and cover the seam that you can actually see. I know it's not efficient for some people who can't cut with their left hand, but you want to be able to see how close you are to the exposed seam and not accidentally go off and cut onto the part that's not overlapped. So luckily, I'm pretty ambidextrous. I can cut with my left. Create a nice straight line. Again, following that exposed seam. And this is crucial where you do not want to lift your blade up, as you can ruin the connecting cut. Nice pressure on it, making sure you're getting both sheets cut. And if you need to make an adjustment like I do, always keep the blade on and in the wall. Place the ruler right back where you need it and continue cutting. Take your time if you're not used to doing this. It takes a toll on your hand a little bit. It's constant pressure. And then that's that. So you can kind of see that cut line. This one here goes all the way up. And what you're gonna do is take this piece underneath and the piece above. And so you're just gonna pull that until it just falls right off. And then you're gonna go ahead and close that seam up. Where's my, oh. Take a sponge, get it nice and damp, and clean the whole sheet. Jesus, that's a
good ass video.
I'm trying.
People better know what to do now.
Right?
If they don't, then we're lost.
Alright, so I'll start from the top. Clean the trim or ceiling that's above you. And again, this glue is water-based. So if you get a nice damp sponge, and just like smoothing, you can go side to side and see if you missed any air bubbles. And that's that. As you can tell, it's almost seamless. You really have to get super close to even see that. I'm already actually lost. Right here. Hides the seam nice. And that's how you install Murals your way with a 2-inch overlap and a double cut. So I will probably make a video at the end to kind of show the progress and how it looks, the final result. But if you have any more questions about commercial paper, murals, or any other type of wallpaper, honestly, go ahead and give David a call at 847-553-1726.